Today, if you're anywhere between the ages of 20 and 80 and beyond, you always want more of this special thing, this something special. And it's a lifelong pursuit for some people, and in others, it's just a passing interest. And I'm talking about ROI, the return on investment. And in this episode of the Real Money Doctor Show, that's what I'm going to cover. Why it's really important about ROI and return on investment. So if you're between 20 and 80, what are we actually looking for? Okay, what do you really want more of? It's ROI, return on investment. And this is why this is really critically important. You can only work for so many hours a day, and you can only make so much money. And you can even save less of that after routine expenses. And we didn't even talk about getting up to the emergencies that sneak up and take all your money and wipe out all your savings out of nowhere. So it's important to do with the little bit you have that you can save to increase your ROI as much as possible. And you need your money making money for you. And that little bit that you can save, that really makes a difference. Now, most folks are thinking about interest on savings like CDs, and that's interesting, but it's capped by the banks. And where are you going to go with that type of return? But there's other ways of achieving higher ROIs outside of the standard savings and what most people really invest in, which is the various things like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and real estates. And there's three things you really need to know about ROI or return on investment. The first is interest is actually different than ROI. It's critically different. The second is that you're used to seeing a certain amount of interest, and that's what you see on a routine basis. That sadly has conditioned you as to what you could actually expect on your own investments, as to what your ROI could be. And you think that's normal at this point in time. Now, what most folks don't understand is that ROI is actually reasonably controllable. You can actually control what you do with it, depending on where you're looking at and what you're doing. Now, the first thing you need to know about ROI is that interest is definitely different. Interest is a fixed number generally. It's something that somebody's paying you, okay? And the flip side is that sometimes you're paying them, okay? And that makes a big difference. Most people understand interest on savings accounts, and CDs, they get a percent or so. But ROI is considerably different than that. It's a special relationship to an investment. You buy this thing, whatever this thing happens to be, and you get your money back plus some extra. Well, that plus some extra is your ROI, or return on the investment. And the more of that you get, the happier you are. Now, ROI isn't necessarily interest. It could be, but generally it's more of a variable number. And the two misconceptions here that are really critical is that people don't understand, ROI, because they're really used to the concept of interest, and they're stuck with that one thing. And the second thing is they don't understand they need a good ROI, not at one point in time, but over a period of time. A one-shot deal at a good ROI is not really going to do anything for you. And you'll see this when people chase mutual funds. Last year it did 18%. Well, that was lovely. Okay. This year, if it's doing 6 or 8, it's a lot. So you need a good ROI over an extended period of time. Now, the second thing you need to know is that what you're used to seeing in regards to interest and ROI is the difference between what you're getting and paying. And that really affects your expectations as to what you can actually get. Now, savings accounts, routinely, maybe 1%, 2%, CDs, maybe 4% if you're lucky at this point in time. And mutual funds, 8, 10, maybe 12% over a 30, 40-year period. And that's what you're getting. However, okay, there's a flip side of that. The flip side is that you pay interest all the time. You're paying on your mortgage right now, somewhere between 6 and 7%. It's been as high as 12% at one point in time. And you routinely pay interest on your credit cards between 19 and 30%. Now, why is it that you understand that your credit card is going to charge you 19 to 30% interest, but on your own savings and investment, you're content with 8 or 10%? There's a problem with that, and it doesn't match up. So you have to understand, you can get a much better interest rate or an ROI than what you're paying. You can get the same or better interest rate or ROI that other people are charging you. Now, that brings us to the third thing you need to know about ROI. ROI is 100% controllable by you, depending on where you go, and the things that you do. Now, you have a certain amount of time, and that's fixed. And ROI over time is a critical factor. It really is. So if you're in your 20s and 30s, you have a whole lot more time, and you don't need as much of an ROI concern because you're going to have a period of time for it to grow. And that's lovely. But when you hit your 50s and 60s, you don't have that period of time for it to grow. So you need a higher ROI to make up for the lack of time. Now, the other thing is your money is fixed. You only have a certain amount of money you can actually invest. And what are you going to do with it? Where's it going to go? Now, you get to decide where your money goes and for what kind of ROI. Now, the more information you have, the more you can turn that information into actual knowledge about ROI, return on investment, and then decide what actions you're going to take with that new knowledge to determine how much ROI you can actually get. Now, here's the big takeaways in this whole thing. Okay, you can only work for so many hours a day. You can only really make so much money. And if you want to get ahead, your money really needs to make money for you. Interest is actually the lowest form of ROI in relation to what's available, because you've got much more available than what you think. And the biggest problem is you're conditioned by your past experiences as to what you can expect in regards to ROI. You can really control the ROI that you get, substantially increasing what it is, okay, depending on what you've seen in the past. The more information you have about ROI and the types of ROI you can get, you can turn that information into knowledge. And that knowledge will give you different alternatives as to what you can actually do about money and how to get that higher ROI. Okay, now we've already discussed a lot on the show so far, and you really know that ROI is controllable. It's controllable by you. You can control how much ROI you actually get. Okay, and it starts with information. And information is readily available. And I've got a site, and we do this a lot, drrousenow.com. And that's lovely. You can go there and get some more information. But you have to turn the information into actual knowledge, and then knowledge into action. Because again, you only have so much time. And all the information in the world, all the knowledge in the world, doesn't do you any good until you take some action with that information for your own benefit or for the benefit of others. And that's why I do this show, for the benefit of others. Okay, if I can help you get the ROI that can get you retired next 3 to 5 years, I'm happy to do that. And if you want real world examples of how this actually works, how you can get that information, turn it into knowledge, and then actual action, go to drrousenow.com. A short video there will walk you through things. Or you can always email me at admin@drrousenow.com, and I'll get back with you. But take some action. Okay, it's nice to collect the information, and it's nice to sit there and be entertained, but I'm really not interested in entertaining you. I really want to be able to show you how to retire in the next 3 to 5 years. I've done it for other folks, and if you take action, chances are I can help you do it too. If you've got questions that you want answered to, okay, email me at admin@drrousenow.com. We take a look at those questions, and we see if we can incorporate those answers into a following show. And again, this show is for you. Okay, I'm glad we can hopefully entertain you. But again, our goal is, how am I going to help you to get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement? So hopefully we'll see you on the next show. And again, keep me posted as to what type of content you want to see, and I'll address it. Thanks now.